Hi, my name is Allison Bradley, and I am here to present my final presentation on a local business problem for my business communication class. So I chose a local daycare center called JMAC Kids. JMAC is a daycare center over in Clearwater. It is very near and dear to my heart because my parents own it. So this was one that I was actually very excited to work on. So, like I said, JMAC Kids is a daycare center over in Clearwater, Florida. They have several different programs throughout their center. Just as examples, they have a preschool for kids that are not ready for school yet because they're too little. They have a VPK program, which is like a pre-kindergarten to get them ready for kindergarten. And then they also have an after-school program where they actually offer before school and after school daycares as well. Within that base package, they also will take your kid to and from school. So they have really a lot of cool options. And some of the other things that really sets JMAC Kids apart from other daycare centers is that they have other extracurricular activities such as baton, chess, karate, cooking classes. And they actually also offer a homework support for students that need assistance with their homework. So one of the problems that I found with JMAC is that they are losing children. Their actual sales are declining on a year-over-year basis. So like I said, they do have a lot of cool different opportunities between the after school program, their VPK program, preschool, and extracurricular activities like we talked about. But for some reason, we were still seeing an overall decline in their numbers for sales. So we started to dig into it a little bit to try to figure out what the real problem was and what the root cause for students leaving was. So in order to do that, we took a poll of both our current students, along with some students that had left previously and not too long ago, to try to figure out where areas of improvement could be, along with trying to figure out what the reasons were for previous students leaving. So there wasn't really anything that stood out. We interviewed quite a few parents, and there wasn't really anything specific that stood out to us. We thought, maybe there was an issue with our pricing, or maybe there was an issue with, some of the strategies that we use within the daycare center. But it really came down to one thing and one thing only, and that is the fact that there's no marketing. JMAC has no marketing schema at the moment. So they have a website, but they don't really promote the website. They don't do mass distribution lists. They don't pass out flyers. So the only thing that's keeping JMAC open at the moment is people just telling, other people what JMAC is and where it is and, all the awesome things that JMAC does. So word of mouth was really the only marketing strategy that was in place at the moment. And while word of mouth is good, there's much better options that are out there. So we started to figure out, what options do we have to be able to make JMAC successful? And then, again, it really came down to we need to do better marketing. We did look at some of the alternatives, though, to try to figure out, okay, well, if it's not marketing, what else could it potentially be? Is it the way that teachers are teaching their classes? Are students not relating to the teachers? Is it the teachers themselves? Do we have mean teachers that we don't really know about? They're not, they don't, harness that loving feeling that students need when they're at the center. Is it cost? So we started to try to think about, is the overall cost of the daycare more than, the average daycare center in that area? But upon further research, JMAC is actually one of the cheaper daycare centers in the area. So we ruled that out. And then we tried to look at class size. So was the overall size of our class, are they too big where, each student isn't getting enough attention? Or are they too small where the students are feeling crowded? What was the overall issue? So when we did this analysis with these parents, none of these issues really came up as a problem. So again, had to boil down to the fact that we needed better marketing. The marketing strategy that they had at the moment just wasn't working. Word of mouth wasn't the way that they needed it to anymore. When they first opened, it was fine, but that's kind of disintegrated throughout the years as they've been open longer. So what are some of the benefits that we're going to see through marketing? Obviously, marketing, the whole point would be to bring in more students. We want to be able to see a positive incline in students versus a decline. So bringing in more students is obviously going to be the biggest benefit. However, there are downstream and downstream benefits to bringing in more students, such as better cash flow. So you have a higher percentage of cash on a regular basis. You can do more things, invest it back in the school or invest it back in your employees. And one of the nice things about investing it back in your employees is you end up at the end of the day having potentially more satisfied, happier employees. I think on a normal human level, we all like to be paid a little bit more than what we are currently. So if we were able to get more students to come into the center, being able to pay our teachers a little bit better would be a benefit. Of course, with benefits, there are always risks, though. So one of the risks that we have is what happens if marketing doesn't increase attendance? What if we go through all of these things and we perform all these marketing things, our marketing techniques, but our actual attendance doesn't increase and it continues to decline? And that obviously means that there is another issue out there that we weren't able to identify. Or what happens if we don't have any return on investment? So one of the things that we're going to talk about is an expensive investment. But what happens if that doesn't bring back any money to the center and there's no benefit behind it? And then finally, this is a positive risk, but still a risk. What happens if we have too many kids? We end up having not enough space to harness all those children, or have teachers to be able to take care of them successfully. So then you potentially have a backlog situation, and maybe parents get irritated at the fact that they have a backlog situation now, and you start to take the opposite effect of having annoyed parents. So again, while having too many kids could be a positive, it's still a risk. So our final recommendation was to continue down the marketing path, though there needs to be something that, some marketing that needs to be completed. So there are things that we came up with. So the first one is flyers. Having that face-to-face interaction, be able to pass out flyers at events probably would be extremely helpful. People enjoy having face-to-face time and learning about situations or opportunities. So being able to hand out flyers and pass out flyers to people and talk to them about JMAC would be very helpful. Through mass email distribution, you can actually go talk to companies that professionally do mass communication, and purchase email addresses or contact information for a certain schema of students. So you just tell them, we need students that live in Pinellas County who age between 1 and 13 years of age, and then be able to send out promos or coupons or whatever to those students to be able to bring them in. Next would be promoting the website. Like I said, they have a website, but it's not very well promoted now. So one of the things they could do is add the link to the sign that they have out in front of the school, or add it to the flyers just to be able to promote their website a little bit better. It's a very nice website, but nobody knows about it. Next, they would be able to create a packet for any of the walk-ins. So JMAC sees 4 to 5 walk-ins per week, and not all of those get translated into students because people don't always have time to spend with every walk-in that comes in. So if you could create a packet and hand the walk-ins as they, come in and say, here's all of our information. I apologize if we don't have time to sit and speak with you now, but, please review this packet and let me know if you have any questions. Please call me, or we can set up a tour at a later date for you to walk through the school. At least that way people don't feel like they're, wasted their time with coming into a center and not have any information out of it. And then finally, my last recommendation, and probably the most expensive, be to wrap them in some kind of bright, fun, happy vinyl or have them painted, um, just so that they pop out more. They're more of an eye popping experience versus just be a yellow school bus like every other yellow school bus is. It would make these school buses stand out more than anything else. So I think it'd be very helpful. So those are my recommendations. I hope you enjoyed my presentation for JMAC Kids. I actually talked to my stepmom this morning, and they are going to take some of my recommendations and try to see if they can go through with the marketing and make things a little bit better. So I'll let you know how that goes. Thanks.